Rodney Hinton. Some people say he crashed out. Some people say he's emotionally unstable. He crashed out and killed an officer after seeing his son's death in a police incident. Said he went to the station, saw his son, get unalived by a police officer. Said he was running, allegedly, I don't know what's true and what's not true, but allegedly the teenager was running and was shot in the back, and the police assumed that he had a gun. He went in and saw it, messed him up, because he probably knew how the system works, right? And they said they tried to keep him down. I guess he got out or got hold to a car, drove back, and allegedly he drove and he killed a police officer, like ran into him or something. He unalived the police officer for his son being killed, and it wasn't the police officer that killed his son. So, however, let's get the main stuff out the way first. Was the officer wrong for shooting a teenager? Was he wrong for shooting a teenager? Teenager didn't confront him with a gun. He didn't point a gun at him. Allegedly, he was running, shot him in the back. Teenager succumbed from the injuries. And the answer is yes. He was probably wrong for shooting him in the back. Had no reason. To shoot somebody in the back, there is no threat to you, right? And you got to say that even though the police was wrong, we're not saying he was right in any way. Emotional intelligence is always the way to go. Emotional intelligence, all the way around the board. So, how decisions and choices can put you in situations. We have to talk about this. Nobody's judging anybody. I'm just telling you how life works and how decisions can put different people in different situations. So, this is not the first time this has happened, and it's probably not going to be the last time that it happens. Bunch of choices, bunch of decisions, right? Somehow they end up in the car that wasn't there, stolen, right? They get jammed up by the police. You know, people say they didn't surrender, they tried to run. However, it's still a choice. Whether you want to, however you want to cut that, it's still a choice, and it puts you in a situation where you can't determine the outcome. Most people think when they make the choice, they're just going to get away when they run, but there are probably three or four different outcomes that could happen. And those kids made a choice, and a police officer made a choice. And two bad choices don't make good situations. It don't have good outcomes. It just don't. No, I'm not. Once again, I'm not saying the officer was right, and I'm not saying the kid was right. What I'm saying is how choices and decisions can put you in some tough situations. That's what I'm saying. Can you think about something before you do it, not after? If you can wire your brain to think about something before you do it, I think that's how you can avoid a lot of tough situations, from my experience. Me playing around, doing crazy stuff. I've done a lot of crazy things in my life, and I can tell you, it just didn't happen just like that. It was a series of choices and decisions that got me to that point, till something crazy happened. You're like, whoa, how did I get here? Oh, okay, choice one, choice two, choice three, choice four. Now I'm here. Now, the father, right? We're gonna talk about this too. Is there a cost whether you are right or wrong? Everything has a cost associated with it. Kind of like when you go to the store, you look at a piece of clothing or look at some shoes, there is a price tag. You want these shoes, it's going to cost you X. You want this shirt, it's going to cost you X. Another thing, you want to cash out. Hey, hear me, bro? Oh, am I tripping? Hold on.
Yo, my bad. I had to cut off the music. Yo,
You hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I don't know what's with these headphones. All right. So I was talking about this Robert Hinton situation, man. Unfortunate situation. And I said the officer was wrong for sure, right? The officer was wrong. Um, and I also talked about before you came on how choices and decisions can put
Mm-hmm.
you in situations that nobody wants to be in, tough situations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Riding around in a stolen car,
Mm-hmm.
bad choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anybody that's been living for an amount of time know that if you run from the police, it just ain't a good thing. You
Yeah.
can't just think if I run, I'm gonna get away. I'm gonna get away scot free because it don't happen like that every time.
Right.
There's too much data out there now to think that there's not a chance that they can shoot at you if you run away from them. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much data out there to even not think that. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people do stuff in a split second. They don't think about what they're really doing. You know what I'm saying? As I say, two bad decisions won't make a good outcome. You know what I'm saying? It just won't. You know.
Yeah, that's big facts.
The officer's wrong, but what I'm saying is don't put yourself in a situation to where somebody could do something wrong to you though. That's the thing, you gotta think
Yeah,
about.
yeah, make it
You know what I'm saying?
justified, but yeah, I ain't seen the video. I ain't seen the
I
video.
don't want to see the video. I can only imagine. We've seen it too many times. Like I
Yeah.
say, you grew up in the inner city, you see this stuff, you hear about it more, and it's videos, so many videos out there. It's out there. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, like, decision wise, you have to make good decisions and choices, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that young man did say, you know what? I'm gonna make a choice to hop out this stolen car and run. And I'm gonna lose my life today. He probably didn't even think about that. But it's just that serious though. It could happen just like that though. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And we got a lot of dudes we know that made one bad choice and it cost them their life. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying?
And
Just like that. You know?
that's why to this day I still believe like that spiritual warfare is real.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
yeah.
But see, a lot of dudes don't even want they don't want to learn about the spiritual warfare. They don't want that spiritual foundation though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta want that. If you don't want it, you're not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying it because I used to be like that. I didn't want it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I had to get broke down. God had to really humble me and break me down. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the game go. You wanna go out there and because even though me and you probably have been to church, I'm pretty sure we know dudes that's never been to a church, even though it's churches on every corner, right?
Yeah.
But it's
I
dudes that never been to church. You know what I'm saying?
here in America.
I'm talking about in Little Rock. It's probably some dudes
Nah,
that never been to church.
they've been to church.
Man. It's some. I think it's some dudes that ain't never been to church, bro.
They've been
And
in
they
church.
probably stay in the neighborhood with a church right by their house and probably still never went, bro, because they just choose not to go. Maybe their
Nah,
family didn't go.
you've been to
I mean,
church. You just
we talk about a lot of kids that they don't even have the parents. Like their parents are on drugs. So if your parents are, they probably not going to church. So if they're not going to church, you're not going to church as a kid.
damn. You went to church. I don't care. You can't
No,
find.
I think I know some kids for a fact. I got some of them. They probably just never went unless, like I said, you go with a relative or something. But it's some kids that they in a messed situation. They never went to church, bro.
They went to church. They just don't remember it. But you always been to
Yeah.
church. You know that's the
Well, I'm
difference.
talking about as far as at the age when you understand, like being a
Yeah, yeah.
teenager and
Now
stuff
that
like
might be a
that.
little different. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when it really start counting. When you go as a teenager, you can understand what you're hearing, and you can really soak it in and learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got on here. Is there a cost to whether you're right or wrong? That's when you came in,
Yeah.
and I said it's like going into the store. You get a shoe, it costs X. You get a shirt, it costs Y. Now, when he went into the police station, I'm not saying if the dad's right or wrong. If you say that the dad was right for what he did, guess what? It's still a price tag that comes with him being right,
Mhm.
and he gonna get it. It's gonna come in court. That's what they're gonna give him, the price tag. And I hope he feel like it was worth it because they feel to probably put this dude under the jail. Um, are they right or wrong? I don't know. They're gonna have to pay the price tag for that. That's something they have to deal with in their conscience. But man, because the cop who did, he killed. Then that didn't want the cop to kill the son. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you talking about
He ran into him with the car, or something like that.
yeah, you talking about the father.
Yeah, the father. Yeah, for sure,
Ah,
the
yeah,
father.
yeah. Like he ain't worried about that. He ain't worried about that. It
But do
just
you think once he come down off of it, and he's in the cell
it's
for about he been in there for about 10 years, you realize like, man, you know what I'm saying? You think that's gonna cross his mind, like, man,
yeah. He gonna say like, dang, I did it to the wrong person. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
Because
yeah,
like I said, you can say he right. The people can say, I feel what he did. That was his
yeah,
son. You can say it right, but guess what? There's still a price tag at the end of that of what he
yeah,
did. It's a
yeah.
price
That's
tag. He
that's
gonna have to pay it. You know
that's
what I'm
what
saying?
that's what made it so bad is when you do it to somebody that didn't deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, not I'm not saying it's okay to kill people.
Right,
Uh,
for sure. Nobody's saying. I started out with that. The cop was totally wrong. Right.
but
Right.
when a person's not in their right mind, he probably just saw red and that was it. Like
Right. And just
I
how
don't,
life works, there's gonna be a price tag. I mean, it's a price tag with it that come with it. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. I don't agree with just killing a cop that's doing his job.
Yeah.
Now, if it
I
was
mean, I
if
can't
it
even. The thing that really bothers me was, and I wonder did he think about this is, um, what influenced your son to be reckless out there, stealing cars or whatever they was doing. I don't know. They caused him to get in that situation. You know
it's
what I'm saying?
it's the thrill of it.
And because if you was in his life, I don't know, man. Like,
Man, them kids,
my,
kids gonna do whatever, man.
they
That's
gonna
what
do what they gonna do, but that
you,
ain't kid stuff they doing though. That ain't kid
man.
stuff they doing, bro. Stealing cars and
It
stuff, that ain't kid
is.
stuff.
It's kid like for your understanding, it's not.
Man, I grew
But
up in the hood like you did. That's not kid
it's
stuff,
still
man.
it's
That's
still kid.
dangerous. There's a
It,
risk
it's still
associated with
kid
that.
stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still kid stuff at the end of the day. Like they probably shouldn't have been riding around in the stoley. You know what I'm saying? But it's still kid stuff. Like everybody don't. grow up ahead of their time. Some are just living in the moment.
I didn't go up ahead of my time. I mean, I think I just had to learn from other people, watching other people. Because, like I say, not having that father figure, you just learn how to learn from other people's successes and failures. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, but what I'm saying is, he had his. If his dad was in his life, I don't know. It's just kind of weird because it's like
So his dad wasn't in his life?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. That's
That's
what I'm
what
saying.
I'm
Where
saying.
did the disconnect come from that he would do? You know,
like,
put himself in that situation. That's all I'm saying. Like, where's the disconnect that he put himself, his son, put
like,
himself in that situation?
and that's why I always tell people, like you can put these kids in the best position ever, and they still gonna make still gonna make the choice, right or wrong. It might be peer pressure. It might just been like, you know what? I ain't never did this. Let me go and do this one time, and then yeah, it might cost you. It might cost
I
you a little.
I think
It
it. I
might
think
cost you.
it's. I think it's like a mixture of surroundings
Mm-hmm.
and putting your parenting on autopilot. You know, you get what I'm saying by putting it on autopilot.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
Like you really don't talk to your kids like you have a kid, you know you have a son, but you really not active talking to him like, listen, this street stuff ain't it. You just kind of hoping that he don't get involved or intertwined with some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not saying it's him. I'm just saying I've seen this from growing up, and when I look back at it, I be thinking, you know what? There are a lot of parents. They just pray that their kids didn't get into no situation like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because either both parents wasn't there, and it was a single parent, or parents was there, they were so busy that they didn't really have time to have those conversations, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
About, you know what I'm saying, how to navigate, don't be out here doing reckless stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom told me, if you get jammed up, you know what I'm saying, don't call me. You're gonna have to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not this ain't Brewster's place, you know what I'm saying? I'm not putting up the house for you. Then you skip you skip jail bail, I lose my house. It ain't going down like that, you know what I'm saying? So um I don't know, man. It's tough,
Yeah.
man.
As a kid that had plenty of relatives, you know what I'm saying, that's been incarcerated. Not saying that they came from the worst conditions. To me, their conditions were way worse than mine, but they
I,
uh they didn't see it the same way. It's like, damn man, you in
no,
bad condition,
yeah. What
and
I'm saying is it's some kids in the suburbs, their parents are doing the same
yeah,
exact thing. That's what I'm saying. They not really raising their kids. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing to have kids, it's another thing to actually raise your kids, have those conversations. Like when you get off work, have those conversations, you know what I'm saying? And your kids, you know, seeing how you moving, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, but
Like if
that,
your son see you stealing cars and doing crazy stuff, what you expect? You know what I'm saying? But sometimes people don't realize, like, if my son see me doing that, well, how do I expect him to, you know what I'm saying, have the
right.
mindset at a young age, like 12 or 13, to overcome that? You know what I'm saying?
One of the biggest things that I know that I showed my son, like I go to work and do everything right,
Yeah, for
but what
sure.
I did show him, I still uh took him to the neighborhood and let him see, like, if this is what you want to be, this is what you gonna. If you if the decisions that you make, you're gonna end up right back over there. You're gonna be sitting right back over here.